Okay, so in this process of feeling our feelings, then you may also find places where you need to really not be feeling your feelings right now, but they're taking over. So if you're at the workplace and you like somebody at the water cooler says a triggering comment that all of a sudden triggers all of your trauma that you're trying to process right now, not a good place for you to be processing emotions because you don't want to like start bawling at the water cooler, right? So I want to give you some grounding techniques as well that you could use. Grounding techniques just means that rather than spiraling in your head and potentially like having a panic attack or something like that, okay? Rather than spiraling in your head, you're going to ground yourself in your immediate surroundings. So, a grounding technique is basically anything that automatically will just like punch you into your immediate surroundings. A good way to do this is like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Find 5 things that you can see and describe them to yourself. Find 4 things that you can hear and describe them to yourself. Find 3 things that you can smell, 2 things that you could taste, and 1 thing that you can, I missed one, feel.
Here.
Anyway, hear. Okay. Well, anyway, you're just going through your 5 senses, right? And whichever one's easiest. I usually do taste as the last one because that's a tricky one. Um, so you're just, what it's allowing you to do is very consciously take all of your brain power on your immediate surroundings. A few other good ways to do this is kind of the same thing, but like pop a piece of gum into your mouth. And as you chew it, think about the gum chewing specifically and the taste of it and what sensations it's giving you. Um, I I know some people that like have a rock that they keep in their pocket and they can like pull the rock out and feel the rock. And specifically, that one for them feels like grounding themselves to the earth and to the power of the earth. But also, you're feeling the smoothness of the rock, the coolness of it. And so it's taking a very tactile, uh, sensory experience and grounding you in your present moment. But then you have to remember to go back and revisit that later so that you could still process that feeling because we don't want to bottle up the feelings. We just want to give ourselves some tools so that we can appropriately experience those feelings at a time that's a little bit more convenient for us. Okay.
So tell me if I'm interpreting this right, Andalyn. So this feels like a tactic that bombards your thoughts so that you stop from being when they are like, oh, your husband is such a wonderful human being. I'm so happy he's a part of my life. Then you're not like, he's a dirtbag and you shouldn't like him
Yeah.
because he did this, this, and this, and this, and this, right? It just bombards your thoughts. So you're like, ouch, pain, or thoughts or words or whatever. So you just for a minute to be like, I'm at the
Yeah.
workplace, not the time or
Yes.
place. Other than like, don't think about the hippo, don't think about the hippo, don't think about the hippo.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I remember being a teenager and sitting in a classroom after a teacher yelled at me, and all I thought was, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Well, of course, what did I do? I cried. And it's, you're in 11th grade and you're stressed out. And so there I am crying in the middle of class and I'm like, if only I had taught myself that I could have, like, this desk feels really nice. Look at that graffiti. What does that spell? Like, I could have grounded myself rather than spiraling. Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay.
hmm And who knows what might be triggering for you? I mean, a coworker might show you like a funny YouTube video, and the premise of the YouTube video is about a husband and a wife cheating or some, you know what I mean? Like, and they think it's a funny YouTube video that they're showing you, and you're like totally flooded is the word that we would use for this. Um, and so, yeah, we just want to give you some of those grounding techniques. Um, all right. So the point of this step number 1 then is that we're going to rebuild our trust in our feelings and in our own intuition because our intuition is what just got like, okay. So your intuition is brilliant and wonderful. And there are things that you see on this side of your trauma that you feel like you should have seen before and you didn't, but you couldn't have seen it before. You didn't have all of the tools that you have now. Now you're at the perfect place to listen to your own intuition. You weren't there yet before, and that's okay. But now you are. So now is your chance to process your feelings, listen to them, give them a voice, and rebuild that trust with your own intuition. Okay.
Which to me,
All right.
that's huge.
That's the
Like,
whole thing.
yeah,
Like,
rebuilding trust
we
with
could end it
yourself.
now.
Yeah, that's
That, yeah, we could end the video
huge.
there. That's the whole thing. Because here's the deal. You're not rebuilding trust with your partner. You are kind of. But for most of these scenarios that I have dealt with, um, and that I just see in like everyday life, because like I said, you could throw a stone at church, which we're not going to be stone throwers at church, but you could throw one and you're going to hit a
You
couple
could
that's
tear
dealing with this
paper
problem.
airplane.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you'll hit somebody that's dealing with this issue. Like you just will, or that has dealt with it already, or that is going to deal with it in the future. Like that's just how it is. Okay.
I would even
And it may not
say,
be
like, if you're
pornography,
going to
but it would just,
include, sorry, there must be a lag.
oh, good.
If you want to include all the ways that you can be betrayed by somebody, you're
Yes.
supposed to, like, 1,000%, 100 people. Like, how many people, their best friends did something, or their parents, or their siblings? And the more siblings you have, the higher percentage rate. Somebody at work, all
Yeah.
your coworkers, because we're humans, and we in order to survive and work together, there has to be trust. And
Yeah.
humans, we just kind of suck at things sometimes. And we're going
Mm-hmm.
to break that trust. I'm sure I've broken people's trust. I try really hard not to. I hate it when I do, but it does happen. So I would say 1,000% of the time, everybody you've met has gone through some kind of betrayal. It might not be the
Yeah.
husband, but everybody can at some point in their life relate to a big betrayal. That's
I
fair to say,
totally
right?
agree with you,
Okay.
Ruth. Yes, I agree with you completely. And I think that's why my point is all of the work is learning how to trust yourself. Because once you have that relationship repaired, once you really believe that you will take care of you, that you trust your intuition, that you trust your gut, you trust your desires, you have confidence in your feelings that they're going to be power for your benefit, the good ones and the uncomfortable ones, right? Once you have all of that like trust in your own life experience, you know that if you're in a situation that repeats, that someone else is breaking your trust, you know how to get through it.
Mhm.
You have your own back. You know how to set boundaries. You guys talked about boundaries a couple of weeks ago, I think. Um, like you know how to have your own back. And so that's that rebuilding your own trust is how you protect yourself. Not protect yourself from ever feeling this way again.
Mhm.
You want to do that actually. Like this is and anyway, we'll get there. Okay. We don't want to put a big crusty shell on us and then never experience love and hope again,
Yeah.
right? And in order to do that, we have to peel away some of that and be vulnerable. But you don't have to be vulnerable yet. It's okay. Like we're going to work through this together.